What's up, everyone? It's your girl Shay here. Welcome to my channel. If you are new, welcome back to my channel if you've been here before. And yes, as you can see by the title of today's video, I'm talking about some more live action anime. But this time I'm not going to be giving hate to live action anime. I feel like it gets enough of a, bad rep already. So why not talk about some good live action anime? So there's some live action anime that I've actually have not seen a problem with and that I actually really did enjoy. Now, granted, this is just purely my opinion, so if you did not like these live actions, that's perfectly fine. Everyone is entitled to their own opinion. Please don't leave hate in the comments talking about I don't know what I'm talking about, blah, blah, blah. This is just a matter of my opinion. And this is just so that if there are people out there that are kind of apprehensive about live action anime movies or live action anime shows, I can actually kind of show or give my opinion that not all of them are bad. There actually are some pretty good ones. Now, this isn't actually in any particular order, and I actually do have one movie on this list that it's not really an anime, but I guess it could be, but who knows. So the first one I have on this list is Death Note. And no, not the live action Death Note that came out on Netflix. This is actually a live action Death Note that actually was made or produced by a Japanese company, obviously in Japan, and they produced a live action Death Note. So Light Yagami is actually portrayed by the actor who played the main character in Battle Royale. I'm sorry if I don't actually remember his name off the top of my head, but I actually really did like this live action. I thought it was great. I thought it was amazing. I think they actually did two, it was split into two parts, and I think the second part is where they brought in Mel and Nero, although do not quote me on that. I believe that is the case. But yeah, I actually really did enjoy it. There is actually a dub on the DVD, and the dub is actually done by Viz Media and done by the same voice actors that portrayed the dub voices for the Death Note anime. So I thought that was actually great. I actually showed this live action to my dad because I had told him what Death Note was about, and while I knew he wouldn't watch the anime version of it, when I found the live action, I knew that he would enjoy this a lot more, and since it was dubbed, it was kind of right up his alley, and he also really did enjoy it. And I can honestly say that it actually did pan out very much like the anime did, and that's what I enjoyed about it. It was a great adaptation, and I highly recommend it. At least for me, I recommend it. The next one I have on this list is going to be Fullmetal Alchemist. Now, I can't remember off the top of my head how exactly I felt about this movie, but I do know that I didn't feel that bad about it. I actually did enjoy it. I thought it was kind of great. It still followed the Elric brothers as they went around. It also talked about their story. I can't remember really where it actually left off at, but they never actually made a second movie a part of it. But I do kind of remember that not a lot of people really gave this movie really any hate whatsoever, and a majority of people thought it was actually pretty okay. The third one I have is Bleach. Now, this is one I can honestly say I was actually kind of apprehensive about. I do remember that they did a stage play for Bleach. So when I found out that this anime live action was going to be on Netflix, granted, I don't think Netflix produced it. I think Netflix just got the rights to actually show it on there, and I liked it. It was really good. One of the best things that I liked about this live action was that they didn't try and do too much. As we all know, Bleach is a very, very long series, and as we all know at this point, they're supposed to be coming out with more Bleach the anime, but they didn't try and put the entire show into just this one 2.5 hour movie or 2 hour movie. They really did kind of split it up, and I kind of hate that they didn't do a second part to this. So they actually leave off in the movie up to where Rukia gets taken back into the the soul realm, Soul Society, that's what it's called. She gets taken back into Soul Society by her brother to stand trial because of her giving her powers to Ichigo and him now becoming a substitute Soul Reaper pretty much. And that is basically where it leaves off. You meet Renji somewhat, you meet Byakuya kind of somewhat, but these are characters that they brought them in and then you don't know a lot about them, so it makes you want to have a second season or second movie attached to it to kind of see what happens next. And I believe at that point, Netflix also did have the anime on there as well. So it actually did cause an increase in a lot of people watching the anime to kind of see what's going to actually happen next. And I believe it got a lot of people into the show because they saw how long it actually was and so on and so forth. So I definitely do recommend the Bleach live action. I thought it was great, especially because of the fact that there's so many elements in the Bleach universe that it didn't come off as cheap. It didn't come off as them using like, they use obviously CGI for like monsters and stuff like that, but I actually thought the acting was great, and I just thought it was a really good live action compared to what I've seen in the past. The fourth live action I have on here isn't really considered like a anime, but I guess you could because there is cartoons of it, and that is Sonic the Hedgehog. Sonic the Hedgehog at this point has 2 movies. The first movie, as many of us know, when they first showed what Sonic was going to look like, we were all terrified because it looked scary. And obviously they went back to the drawing board, they redid Sonic, and Sonic turned out to look a whole bunch better. Now, I have to say the live action was great. And this was actually a movie that I was kind of skeptical about. And the only reason why, for a lot of us, I think we kind of were more interested in seeing it was because Eggman was going to be portrayed by Jim Carrey, which I thought was the perfect role for him. And I have to say, though, overall, I loved it. I thought it was funny. I thought it was cute. I also thought it was exciting. And then when I found out they were doing a second one and they were actually going to have Tails and Knuckles involved, I was even more excited, and I honestly couldn't wait to watch it. And I obviously love the second one just as much as I did the first one. And I love Knuckles' humor in the second one because he has that dry humor. And I really was once again skeptical of Idris Elba actually voicing Knuckles, but I thought he was a great Knuckles, and I obviously loved it. There's going to be a third one because there was an ending credits scene of where they introduced another new character, but there hasn't really been much said as far as like when or if this third movie is supposed to come out. I know there was something with Jim Carrey saying he may not want to act anymore or wanted to retire, but I'm not really for sure, but we'll honestly see what happens. And I believe that was number 4, right? Yeah. So number 5 on this list is the Ronin Kitchen movie. Now, I can honestly say I have not watched this live action, but my fiance has. And my fiance has swore up and down he wants me to watch it, but I haven't really had a chance to, nor have I really been in the mood or interested in really watching it. Not because I think it's bad, but just because, you know, you want to be in a particular mood when you're watching a show or watching a movie. And I haven't been in that mood to watch the live action Ronin Kitchen just yet. But anyway, the live action Ronin Kitchen, from my fiance says, is great. It's amazing. And to me, this is kind of a perfect example of a live action kind of staying within its element, or an anime being able to be a great adaptation for live action. Because Ronin Kitchen is about a samurai by Kenshin Himura who is basically kind of trying to atone for his sins of him being Batusai the manslayer, pretty much. And to me, this is a perfect show to do an adaptation of. It is a samurai show. To me, there's not heavily a whole lot of CGI that I can think of or remember from the show that I feel like would need to happen in the movie, and so on and so forth. But I really have heard so many people say Ronin Kitchen is amazing and it's a great live action. And I honestly have to agree, because of the simple fact that I feel like, once again, even though I haven't seen it, I feel like it has the recipes for a great live action based off of what the anime is pretty much about. And I feel like it's also a great live action for anyone who is in your life that isn't a fan of anime or wouldn't want to watch something animated but wouldn't mind watching something live action. So I feel like, you know, this would be kind of right up a lot of people's alleys. And the last one and final one I have on this list is Detective Pikachu. I could not end this list without talking about Detective Pikachu, because this was one live action that had everyone scared, because it was going to be made by a very big studio, which was Legendary, and a lot of us were like, well, let's see what kind of happens with this. And because of also the fact it was actually based off of a video game, which is by the exact same title of Detective Pikachu, and not so much the anime Pokemon with Ash, Misty, and Brock. So a lot of us were kind of like, well, how is this going to work? Because it's based off of a video game and not exactly based off of this show. but it worked perfectly. I love the storyline. I love that Ryan Reynolds actually voiced Pikachu, and with his own natural voice, and not try to do like a high cartoon voice or anything like that. I thought that was great. And for a lot of us, we all poked fun and loved the memes of it being like Deathpool basically being Pikachu, since Ryan Reynolds voices or plays Deathpool in the Marvel movies. So that was actually awesome and great for us. Another thing that they actually did very well with the Detective Pikachu movie is that they didn't try and overload us with a whole bunch of Pokemon. As we know, there's like 800 plus different species of Pokemon now that are in this entire Pokemon universe, but they only really chose like, I think like maybe less than 100 Pokemon to actually show in the movie. And it wasn't just the original like 150 that they actually had Pokemon from several different generations, which I thought was great. And them having the main villain somewhat be kind of Mewtwo was very reminiscent of the original Pokemon movie, Mewtwo Strikes Back. So I absolutely loved it. And I actually loved that the Pokemon themselves weren't supposed to be evil. It was more so the humans. So I thought that was a great element. And the story was, you know, heart-wrenching in some points. It had a great like premise. I absolutely loved Detective Pikachu, and I absolutely loved the soundtrack. I absolutely loved it. It was so good. But yeah, definitely recommend Detective Pikachu, because to me, this was also another example of having a big major studio do their research a little bit with how this was supposed to work, although I'm not for sure how much research they did. But to me, this just goes to show too that like not all live actions are bad, and sometimes you have to be a little bit optimistic when it comes to it. And that's kind of what I took when it came to like Detective Pikachu in a lot of ways. Now, when it comes to Detective Pikachu, we actually have heard nothing about there actually being a second movie, although I think a lot of us really do want a second movie, because I believe it kind of ends off on a little bit, not really a cliffhanger, but I want to say, if I can remember, it did have somewhat of an ending scene, but I honestly can't remember. It's been a long time since I've watched Detective Pikachu, but if you do remember, feel free to comment below and let me know whether or not I'm right or wrong about that. But I can honestly say I would love for there to be a second movie, because I was very much surprised when it came to this movie and loved it so much. But what do you guys think? I know that, like I said before, this is purely just my opinion, so if you did not like any of these live actions, or if you still think most live action animes are terrible, you are definitely entitled to that opinion, because like most of us know, most live actions for anime have been more bad than good, but these were ones that I felt like actually, you know, did pretty well, and that I thought did the story justice, and that I didn't find too many really big issues with. Yes, maybe some of them may have had issues where they've taken out certain things, or you know, may not have said particular lines, but I thought they did the original property well enough for me to be able to watch it all the way through and not critique every little thing that is actually happening. And like I said, yes, when it comes to the Ronin Kitchen, I haven't seen it yet, but based off of my fiance's, you know, his opinion about it, which I really do trust his opinion because he's an anime fan just like I am, and we both have a great disdain for a lot of live actions. So for him to say a live action is actually pretty good, I have to like kind of like accept that, because I can honestly see that, you know, he actually found it to be good. And plus, like many of us know, a lot of studios now are coming out with a lot more live actions, specifically Netflix. So we'll kind of see what happens going on if this list ever does get a part 2 and ever does get an updated list of shows or, you know, movies that are based off anime that I thought were actually pretty good. So yeah, let me know what you guys think. Comment below. And like I said, this is purely just my opinion, so no flames in the comments, please. But yeah, let me know what you think by commenting down below your thoughts. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys soon with another brand new video. And link down below will be all my social media accounts, my Instagram, my Twitter, and I also do have a TikTok. And like I always tell you guys, stay positive, stay nerdy, and in today's day and age, stay healthy, and of course, please stay safe. All right, you guys, bye.